So I have about 15 minutes left. So before, I wanted to kind of give you more of an opportunity to play around, but also we've only just begun. This is kind of like the very beginnings where you can start making tip calculators and printing happy birthday to your Python console and stuff like that, which you'll get to the point where you can just like use Python to download all of the information that the DPI has and put it into a different interface and do other stuff with it. Like, that's possible. You can get lots of information. It's a very versatile tool to have in your repertoire. And it takes, unfortunately, it takes more than an hour to learn. So I've put together at this Delicious, if you want to write that down, or I can maybe collect some emails or something, but it's just my Delicious account that I made the other day because it seemed like a good idea for bookmark sharing. And you can access it without having an account, don't worry about that. And I've put together a bunch of resources for you to look through that should hopefully help you kind of learn more about Python and do some more stuff. Code Academy, I think, is really great. They have Python tracks. I recommend, if you think this is really interesting and appeals to you, do some of the Python stuff, but they also have APIs, which are much more fun and interesting. And it kind of shows you more of what Python can do. But it also kind of requires a little bit of back and forth between that and the basic Python, so you can understand the data structures and how Python works. There's a bunch of different kind of coding tools. There are a lot of different communities. The Boston Python user group is a group in Boston that they're just a bunch of people who use Python in their work and for fun, and they're great. They have meetups occasionally. They have project nights. They just had a Python fundamentals night, and their YouTube channel I've also linked here. Also, this is organized by tags, so there's stuff in Boston, and there's also some books. O'Reilly is a book publisher. They have a lot of great books, Python books, Python cookbooks, how to learn Python. And another one that I really would like to point out is, I don't know how I have it here, but if you have any questions, Stack Overflow is, like, if you're trying to learn to code and you're just getting some weird error, you're not the first person to get that error. First thing I usually do is plug it into Google, and it's usually a pretty basic error, and like that people have wondered about before, and you can find how to fix it. It's more complicated. You can kind of try to search for what you're trying to do, and a lot of times Stack Overflow is what will come up. It's kind of a community of people who help each other with code. Sometimes this stuff will just go flying. It goes over my head because it's very complicated, and like people are doing more complex things than you care about. But if you find the right tutorial, it's great. And also, software carpentry. I mentioned them earlier. I think they're great. I've been to one of their workshops, and they run like 2-day workshops where they introduce you to command line interfaces, like more in depth into Python, some version control, like all kinds of stuff. They're geared towards scientists, but they are willing to work with librarians, as evidenced by the fact that I went to one of their things. And that was actually set up by a library that I work for at Harvard. So they could come to Simmons. It would be great if they could. I just can't set it up right now. So yeah, check out that Delicious page, and also there's like loads of free learning code resources out there. And some of them are even like code communities. There's like code.org, they're an advocacy group. There's a lot of actually like women in coding and programming things that are just kind of trying to reduce the gender imbalance in programming that currently exists. It's kind of crazy. So there's like lots of very supportive like women-only groups I know because I can't go to any of their meetings. So that's great. So I'm going to hang around for a while and just kind of float around. If you want to stay here and keep going with Code Academy, if you have any questions for me about setting this up at home, this is like the tip of the iceberg, and it's a very large iceberg that's secretly a glacier. But it's an awesome glacier. So I encourage you to keep learning if this kind of learning appeals to you. So yeah, you're free to go if you so desire, or you can hang around. Thank you. Okay. That's enough of that.